Now in the previous episode you saw me install this DRO system on the knee so it could read out the height position, and then earlier in the series you saw me install this stepper motor here so we could lift the knee up and down. But now it's time to move on to the electrics. Now I was really hoping we'd get all this in the enclosure, but I'm still waiting for some parts, so instead let's get the lighting sorted out. Welcome back to the workshop, and welcome to this ongoing quest to add some small improvements to this drill press. So before we do that, we've got this little electrical job to get out of the way. You might have seen in one of the earlier videos I showed these little LED lights, so they're going to go here. I decided I will put one each side, so I've got another one down here. I'm just getting it ready to drill the hole to accept the cable, and then they're just a switch. Switches on that little LED, it's probably 1 watt or something like that. So be one this side, one the other, and I've just made up this little plate. Got an electrical junction box there. I did try and look at using, I got some of these which are, they're not Wago or anything like that. They're just cheap copies, but for DC stuff like this, I'm okay with it. Yeah, it seems to work well enough. But these are really too big to get in that box. Can't really fit another box that's bigger because the handle's in the way and yet near the drills, because obviously that moves up and down on the quill. So just use the old chock block. That will be, I think, okay for this. So I just need to strip that one, get it wired into there, and we'll run 3 lights off this. There'll be one this side, one the other side, and then somewhere in here I've got the original little LED that just went in the centre, so we'll have 3 positions. The outer ones have got switches, so you can decide if you want all 3 or just the centre one on. And then this wire here, clearly joined it at some point. That's what did go to the old light. So I'm just going to redo the whole lot back to the control box. It's one continuous piece of cable, and then we'll put the strain relief through the top there, and that'll run back out. Okay. I always find electrics takes twice as long as you think. It's always a bit fiddly, especially with this small gauge stuff. I wanted to put some of the ferrules on the end there, but well, 1, I haven't got enough, and 2, there's really no space to have that on the cable, so just gone straight in. Hopefully for a little job like this it'll be fine. I know, being on the quill it will get a bit of vibration, so we'll just see how we go. Okay, I need to tighten it up, but that'll be it for now. Right, let's run this screw in here, and then we'll get the other side mounted and run the wire across, and we'll kick the camera. So on the other side I made up this kind of L bracket that screws in the back here, and then I've just got 2 tapped holes, and then there's the light fitting. I've soldered on the extra cable there, and a little strain relief stop pulling through. Hopefully that should fit onto there. These are long enough. Okay, that looks alright. Now the reason I had to put it on this bracket and not here is because I've got this Z readout for the quill and locking system, so I didn't want it too far out. Still got access to the keyboard here on the DRO, so that was a pretty good compromise, and then I should be able to angle the light in like that. Alright, so let's go and wire the other end in. Okay, I've just got the lighting wired in into these terminals here, so I've just taken the 12 volt feed off there, so when this comes on that's permanently feeding 12 volts out to there, and then it comes out to around here through a little strain relief, and then in this little junction box here. That was a real test of patience, I think, to get all that into there. Really I could have done with a bigger box, but that's the only one I've got, a nice zinc finish, so that should be fairly durable. And then I'll tidy up these wires. I've got some clips I think I'll make, but we'll leave that for another time. So all I need to do is put the lid on, face plates. I do like the screws to all point the same way. That's not going to go, is it? That's tight. Let's see how tight that goes there. There we go. Right, so let's switch it on. Okay, so we've only got the rear one on so far. Alright. Don't know why that picks up on camera, but they are pretty bright. Alright, well that's the easy bit of the electrics out of the way, but I'm glad I got that done. Tidies that up quite nicely. One of the first things I made, just to hold those cables out of the way, was this little clamp that goes around there, goes all the way across to the other side. Yeah, it's got little legs that kind of clip in there, and then at the back there, you might be able to see, it's got a little C-shaped channel, and then there's like a figure of 8 in there because I've got 2 of those little cables just to tuck neatly out the way. It goes up into there, so that was the first thing. Although my little benchy printed first time, no problems. I did have 2 goes at printing that little clip, as you can see. Yeah, it came unstuck from the bed because it's quite long and thin. I can't remember which way around I had it, but anyway, it got, obviously it was that way up, but it got part way through the print, and then this became free and it was whizzing about. So I guess these long slender parts need a little bit of help. Second time I just put it a different area of the bed, and maybe I got lucky and it printed okay. Now, the other thing I thought would be useful was, you see this cable comes out here, it was getting a bit close to that handle, occasionally caught, and you know, this obviously moves up and down when you move the quill up and down. So this needed something. I did have a cable tie through there, and I thought, hang on a minute, I've got a better idea. So this was the first one I made. It's like a clip that goes round the box section, and then that bit holds the cable, and as you can see, hopefully you can see that, I put it at a bit of an angle so it would like go in the direction that the cable wanted to go, and it's just got these little sort of hook features at each end. And you can see the quality of the print. I was really impressed with that. That's those layers nicely done, and then that's the texture of the bed there. So let me show you what that looks like. So that clips on up there, but you can see it's a little bit loose, even though I designed it to match the box section. So obviously could do with another millimetre come in board, but the wire clipped in okay, so that was good. But that was Mark 1. Mark 2 was better, so what I did, I pulled this in even more, so that's quite a nice fit now, and then I realised the cable was still rubbing a little bit on the box section, so as you can see I brought that out a bit further. Because it had come out, I decided to put those little webs on it, give it some support, and I can't remember what happened there, but you see it's a little bit, if you can see that, a little bit fluffy on one of them, I think one of the layers there, and that was fine, except being stuck out that far. It was all working well, and then I tried to move the handle, and the handle came really close to it and almost caught the wire in one try, so that was probably a bad idea. So I went back to this design. This time I offset it to one side, and that was really nice, except it got most of the way through, and then it slid off the bed and it was whizzing about, so that never completed. And then I got to this one, so it's very similar. It's offset to one side. I can't remember what happened to that one. Oh yeah, it got all the way to the end, and then it came unstuck, and just that last layer. I mean, it is usable, it does work, but you know, and it's over there, you can't really see it, but you know, yeah. I wanted it to look a bit better than that. So thanks to some of the comments in the last video that I uploaded about 3D printer, I discovered these called brims. So there's a skirt you can put round, and I thought that might be kind of deflecting the air to try and stop it cooling the slow part, but no, it's just like a primer. The G-code that's exported out puts a little priming strip at the front anyway, so I don't know if that's useful, but I left it in. And then I put this default 5mm brim, so in case it's not obvious, it sort of printed it like that. And there's a by default a 0.1mm gap, although in practice it's almost stuck, but enough so you can peel it off. So if you get the idea, that tries to stick that down to the bed, and then when it's done you can just kind of peel it off. So that worked really well. And yeah, here's that finished part. Really impressed. The quality of that. It looks like maybe some of that little brim could just be cleaned off in a few places, but a very usable part. Again, just trying to clip this on with one hand. Yeah, it's a much nicer snap fit, and then cable. There we are, it's a nice snap fit in there. And you can see it's got to be clear of the handle. I'm trying to get it so it doesn't rub against here, so if I just unlock the quill, sorry, it's going to go up. Here we go. So I did want it rubbing against the metal, which is good, it's clear. It can't get too close to the handle, which it doesn't. Quite a way. And it looks quite nice as well. So yeah, maybe I need another one down here. Anyway, yeah, looks good. So now I get to the reason why I'm holding this with one hand, which is this is my usual setup. So I've got a quick release there, and I've got a range of these clamps. I think they're called Q40 or something like that. And these are quick release, they go into there. You've got your standard 1/4-20 camera thread on there, and then that goes onto whatever you're mounting, and you can quickly swap between different locations. So if you want a tripod shot, you can use that. If you need a magnetic base shot, you can just quickly move the camera and the microphone between those places. So that goes on there. And then on top of that, I've got this, which is an iPhone holder, which is what I'm filming with. And then it had a little threaded nut at the back, so I've put this on, which has got like a shoe for the microphone. You can't see that, but that's just what I'm recording the sound with, and that clips into there. So that's my camera, microphone, onto there. That's all good. Problem is, this iPhone is really, really old, and the onboard battery, you might get 10 seconds of footage and the battery would go, even if it was full, if you were lucky. So I have to plug it in all the time with the USB cable, which is this one down here. Where I've got a huge long one. You imagine this, it's about 2 meters. And yeah, that's what I have to plug into every time to keep all the shots going, otherwise it just dies. So what I've done is, again, you can't see it, but on the back of this I've got a booster battery, which makes it about twice as thick, and it's like triple the capacity. And now I can run like this. I can film, well, I don't know how long for actually, but a long time. Problem is, it no longer fits in here. It's way thicker than that, and it's probably almost 50% thicker, so that doesn't work anymore. So I can't put it on a tripod. I can't hold it other than holding it in my hand. So 3D printer, let's make something. So this was the first attempt. It's looking pretty good, and the idea was I thought I'd do like a live hinge on that, so you see that kind of flexes up like that, and I've measured it so that would be a nice fit for the battery. So you come in like that, and then slide it in against there, and it would hold it against that kind of spring. So that would be that bit. We'd have our 1/4-20 fixing at the bottom there. You can see that hole is not super round. It's not bad, not super round. And then at the top I thought I'd integrate that little shoe feature so we can put the microphone on it. I've also got a kind of a double shoe, so you can put a shoe on there. It's got a bracket out here, and you've got 2 more shoe fixings, so you could have a light, auxiliary light, microphone, you know, that kind of thing. So make it all neat in one setup. Again, very pleased with the finish and everything. As you can see, it got just about halfway through, and then it came unstuck from the bed. It would have been that way around, wouldn't it? So I'd left it for a bit, and I checked on my phone. You get a little image on the software, and this was just scooting around in the corner, and it was all bundled up. So that was never going to work. So again, I thought, let's try that brim idea, and then that's what we've got here. So I've just left it on there at the base, but you can get the idea. I think I had 2 goes at this, can't quite remember now, and I ended up with a brim that was 12mm wide instead of the standard 5. I thought more surface area the better. It prints the brim really quickly, 30 seconds a minute, so I don't think there's anything lost, because the whole part was about an hour. There's quite a lot to it, it's reasonably thick. And then the other thing I did was I was a bit worried about, I measured that thickness, and that was too thick to take the standard, you see, way thicker than that. So I was never going to get my microphone in there, and I realised I need to make that thinner, which is what I've done. But then you can see you wouldn't be left with very much holding that microphone on. So I thought, well, there's nothing lost, and I might as well put some sides on it like that, because the tightening lock screws at the top here, so that's all fine. And you can point the microphone in direction, nice and strong, all good. And I did some other little finessing as well, just to help guide the battery. You kind of feel when it's gone to the last one, and again it kind of holds it in there quite nicely. You see I've gone ahead and put a little 1/4-20 insert in. Now I didn't have any of those, so I broke apart a GoPro, one of those little mounts, again just to get the 1/4-20 thread out. I got some on order, but I didn't have any. And just used the soldering iron to push that in, reasonably straight, hopefully not too bad. So, well, hopefully this will work. I'll put it on the stand, and we'll get the microphone in the top and the camera in there, and then we're back to normal again. And there it is, all put together. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that will make life a lot easier and save me tripping over that cable. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, so I think the next steps are, this part goes at the back of the drill there, and then these are the two that I think I'm going to use. So it's quite a nice gentle fit on there. The other ones, although it's the same, it is slightly tighter. I did print them side by side, so I don't know why that one's ever so slightly tighter, but that's still okay. I think I'll probably use that one at the bottom, because that'll probably stay in the same position, and then this one can be the easier to adjust top one. I've got to tap these to take M3 to put that on, and then I need to get the soldering iron on, and we'll press these in. And yeah, I think we're good. Right, let's press these in next. Now, obviously, this is only going to be sort of a temporary way to do these. I'll probably end up making a little fixture, but for now, I'll hold that on there, put that on there. Yeah, they're not chamfered, are they? Okay. No wonder they're difficult to get in straight. Okay, here we go. So we've got the soldering iron nice and hot. So I guess the method is you just get that heat transfer through a few seconds. I don't know, let's give that a go. Oh yeah, push. Yeah, let's go in. Oh, it's going off course. Oh, it's gone too far. Right. I was looking at the end of that. I've gone too far on that one. Alright. You have to print that one again. Yeah, that didn't work so well, did it? I can see why those fixtures are popular. Well, at least I can print these pretty quick, but let's try the other one. Right, gone for a slightly shorter insert. Now this time, yeah, I've got to be careful, that knurled bit is part of this, not that. I think I went too far and I was too slow last time. Right, here we go, get that heat on. Push it in quickly. Get it flat. Alright. That doesn't look too bad. So that's my third ever heat sink, or heat insert, so alright, we'll tap these, I'll print another one, and we'll push that in again on the other one, and then we'll have a pair. Right, I'll bring you back when that's done. I made another 2 of these little clamps in the end, just in case I messed one up, but the heat insert went in okay. And then in the end I decided to tap these M3 to hold the little micro switches on. I'm hoping it's going to be strong enough. They're not going to come on and off very often. Just in case that it was a better option to put the heat inserts in for those as well. I did have a look at that, but as you can see, ended up being quite close to the edge. Also, I would need to drill these holes out to accept these to something like 4.8 or something like that. I did start drilling, but the plastic made horrible noises, like it didn't really want to drill, and it was probably just going to split. I don't know, it didn't feel like it wanted to drill a hole. So we'll go with the threads for this time round, and let's see what happens. If they break or don't last long, I'll design some slightly different ones and design them to take the threaded inserts. And a few minutes later we got that, so our little micro switches are on, and then just for now I've just got these M5 cap heads just to tighten it, so you can slide it into position, and then there'll be a little brass thumb screw, something like that, just to lock it on into position. Same at there. There we go. Top and bottom limit switches. Right, let's go and fix it to the drill and see if it trips when the knee goes up and down. Okay, I'll just do that loose for now, get the bottom one in. Alright, okay, looking good. Let's see if it will trigger on that. Okay, rather than move the knee up and down, the electronics are in a pile over there, waiting for the next step, so I don't really want to rebuild that just for this test. So what we'll do, we'll just slide the little switch down, it'll basically be the same thing in reverse. I ended up putting some little washers under here. Now the bolts were not touching the rail, they hadn't quite gone all the way through, but there was a little bit of kind of thread, plastic thread stuck in the ends. And it was acting like a brake in here, and I couldn't really get it out, so just back them off a bit, and now they slide quite nicely. So here we go, should hit that little ramp, and there's the click, and worst comes to the worst, it will actually go all the way past. Okay, that one looks alright, and just lock it in place. Longest bolt than I thought. There we go, something like that. Okay, let's try the lower one. Alright, same thing on the bottom one. Should work just as well. Okay, and again it can go all the way past. You see, I've noticed this wire's a bit close, might get caught, so I think we'll have some kind of clip down here just to hold that out of the way like that. Alright, that locks off like that. A bit more. Okay, good. Okay, and there we have our top limit switch there, bottom one down there. Alright, looking good. Alright, well I think that's it for this video. Slightly shorter one this time. I was hoping to get onto the enclosure and the electronics there, but I'm still waiting for some key parts to arrive, so we'll have to do that next time. Been really pleased with the 3D printer, you know, making all bits and pieces like, well, the little benchy, yes, but some real functional parts, little clips and brackets. I've got lots of colours now, black, white, yellow. I might even experiment with some of the TPU, so you can have some flexible parts, you know, all sorts of things. You know, it really opens up a world of possibilities. Okay, well, feel free to leave some comments below, not only about the machine, but also 3D printing. Obviously, I'm very new to that, so all advice welcome. Feel free to subscribe, ring that bell if you want to see notification for the next episode, and with that, see you next time.